All right, hello, welcome back. This is part three of our Google Spreadsheets tour, where we'll be looking specifically at our add-ons that we use to power our Google Forms. This one that we'll be looking at will be the calendar creation, and hopefully we'll be able to get to the document creator as well. The first thing you'll want to do is, again, go back up here to add-ons. And make sure that you've got that add-on. I've got a couple different ones right here, but you'll come to get add-ons. And then in this dialog box, you'll want to type in event. An event will pull up Event-O-Matic. That's the one that we want to use. If you come over here and click it, you can do that, and it'll take you through the processes to set it up on your spreadsheet. But for us, we're going to come back up here to add-ons. We're going to hover over Event-O-Matic and click on Setup. In here, it'll pull in some of that information that is helpful for you to know about Event-O-Matic, but for the sake of the video, we'll go ahead and just click Advanced Mode. And Advanced Mode is mostly just to show you all of the processes. I've never really seen a non-advanced mode in here, so I think they're just trying to make us feel good. So you'll click Setup. And the first thing that it'll ask you is where you want to pull this data from and where the calendar invite events are going to be housed. So you'll first select the calendar you wanted to. Here we've got a RA Programs calendar that we use to store all that information. And then you'll want to select the sheet where the event information is captured. For us, that's Form Responses 1. And that's just because it's named that way here. But you click it and then you'll find it. As you can see from our templated emails, you can see the approver and requester email is already there, as well as our coordinator email, but we want to click the form responses one. Once you've got that clicked, you can go ahead and click next, and then it'll ask you for the event information. This is information that is pulled from the Google form that is then pulled into this Google Sheet, and then we just use it to create the calendar event. Similar to the tags option that we had in our formula situation where you were just clicking the tags that corresponded with columns out here. Over here you'll just click the column that corresponds to the question that you want to pull that information to. So here it's saying the event title. So however you titled that question, that will need to be how you title it here. So for us, we titled it event title, so it'll just pull up right there. We did it just to help with creating this process. Event description, same sort of situation where you'll come to that drop-down menu and then select event description from the options there, which should correspond to the questions that you asked. And then lastly, the same thing for event location. We don't really have a question for a guest list, but you could make one if that's how your department wants to go with it. So you'll click next, and then you will do the same sort of situation. The reason that we titled our questions this way is so that it would be easier to find them later in here. Some things that you'll want to pay attention to are these options over here. If you had selected this, you can unselect it, but if you select this, then essentially it's just saying that you captured both date and time in one column. We did not, so that's why that's there. You can click next once you've done all that. This is where the magical part of it happens. If you select this, it'll just create events based on submission as opposed to on a timed rotation or a manual starting of the event merging. And then you'll also want to do it on a conditional basis. So the way that our programs work is that they only happen if a community director approves them. And so for us, that means creating a question or a conditional content operator that allows for us to say we only want events to be created if the approval decision question, if the column or row has approved in it. The way that that works, if you click conditional content, you'll scroll down to approval decision, which we asked in our form. So you click it, and then the operator is just saying how the condition is set up. For us, the condition is or equals to, and then you type in what the answer to this question should be. For us, it's approved, and so once you type that in, you can click next. And then it kind of just summarizes what you will see happening on your Google Calendar. And if you hit preview, then it'll pull in any calendar events that are waiting to be created. There shouldn't be any for us, but apparently there is, because maybe this one just didn't run properly. But there's a Smash Bros. Tournament happening in August, so it's a little past, but still might be helpful to be on the calendar. So we'll create the event. And as you see, they have some fun little things popping up there as they made the form happen. So that was Eventomatic. You can check the status of if something's been created successfully or not by just coming to these question columns here and just looking. So you can see if you click on the event status column and hover over a cell, you can see calendar event successfully created. And this is just the link to that calendar. And we won't follow it just for the sake of the video, but you could follow it and see that event on the calendar. The next add-on that we're going to be covering is the Autocrat function, which is just how you create documents. So if you come down to get add-ons, type in Autocrat. The one you'll want to get is right here. It's got a little guy with a mustache on it. So you just click free and it'll pop up for you. And then you'll follow your instructions on screen, just kind of authorizing the add-on to use the sheet that you created. Once there, you'll come to add-ons and click Autocrat and open. Now this one's a little bit more involved because it involves having a separate template document that you create with some tags that correspond to your questions. So it's taking a moment to pull up Autocrat. This one's a little bit more of a beast to work with. So as you can see, we've got the Azalea Memo job running here. For the sake of this video, though, we'll go ahead and create a new job. And so you'll want to start by naming it. So we'll name it Azalea Test. And this is just kind of help you order the jobs that you have going on in there. This won't be the name of the document. You'll click Next. From here, it's asking you to choose a template. But first, you'll probably want to know what template. And so you'll have to build that template. And I'll walk you through that process right now. So the first thing you'll want to do is pull up a document that is formatted in a way that your department needs. This is the memo template that our department uses. And so what you can see is some information that's going to always be there. So Christina Reyes, Assistant Director, she's going to always be that. So we don't really need to pull that in from the Google form. And this information is going to always be the same. But the proposed date and time and location, all that stuff, is going to change based on the form. And so similar to our tags from our email, automated emails that we send out, you'll want to create the tags here. And you want to make sure this is corresponding directly to the questions that you created. What I like to do is just come back to the form and then just click it, copy and paste it over into here, and then add my brackets, and that'll create it as a tag. And then from there, it's pretty easy to pull in what you want it to be, and you set up your template how you want it to. And then once your template is set up, you'll want to save the template in a location that is easy for you to navigate to. So in here, what you'll want to do is choose the template. So if you come to From Your Drive, it'll connect to your drive, and then you'll want to search for the template that you've just built. For us, ours is going to be the FYE memo. As you can see, it's right there, but you may want to search it just to make sure it's the right one, but we'll go ahead and click it. If you click Select, it'll take a moment to find all the tags that you just installed in that memo template, and then you'll click Next. Now yours is probably not gonna pull in the sheet that you want automatically, so you'll want to make sure that you click the sheet right here, Form Responses 1. Then you'll have to map the tags that it found in your document to the columns. Now it should have automatically done this, but that's okay because we're just going to map them to it anyway. So it found these specific tags in our question, in our template. So we'll just go over here and click the maps to column. And if this is the event start time, then we'll find event start time and click event start time. And we'll move around doing the same thing. We'll just event end date, we'll find event end date, and then event title, map it to event title. Event description, same thing. And then learning categories, we'll put it to learning category. And then for some reason total budget already found itself, and I believe the event start date already found itself. But once all of your tags are mapped to a specific column, you can click next. And this is where you'll want to name your specific document. So we like to name them Azalea Memo, but then we also want to give it a specific name to that file. So the way that you do that is you, again, pull in your brackets for your tags here, and you're going to say case no. Now this is only if your form, your spreadsheet is asking for the case number. And if you remember from the formule video where we selected collect case number, then it'll pull it in. And as you can see, our case numbers are being collected right there. So from here you can select the type of document you want to pull it into. You can create a PDF or a Google Doc. We like Google Docs mostly because you can edit the memo and it'll always store that information. If you click PDF, then you won't be able to edit it later. So we like to use Google Docs. This information is really not important. We enjoy the classic mode, but there's not too much of a difference between them. Next, you'll choose a destination where you want this document to go. So for us, we created a folder where the first year experience memos go for the coordinators to find. So we did that. But if you are looking for one, you just choose folder. It'll connect to your drive again, and then you'll just find that specific folder. You'll click next. In this dynamic folder reference, it's optional. It's just if you wanted to send that specific document that you're creating to a specific folder based on some of the responses that are collected in that document itself. Next, this set on merge condition, this is just to, it's optional, and it only merges if certain criteria are met in this spreadsheet. And so if we wanted to click and add a condition, we like to create these documents only if a program is approved. So if you scroll down to approval decision and then say approved as equals to approved, then you click next. And then it'll ask you if you want to share this document. The answer is going to be no. For us, just because the sharing tools here aren't as advanced as our formules, but if you wanted to, you could click yes, and then it just asks how you want to share it, what format, all those sorts of things. And it looks very similar to our formule information. But we like to say no, because we've already got an email that's sending this document for us, so we'll click next. Here is where you'll turn on the form trigger, very similar to a formule, where you just click yes, and it turns on the trigger to run every time a submission is submitted. So you'll click yes, and then from there you'll click save. And it takes a moment to save the document just because it's pulling in so many different things, and as you can see, things went a little wonky up there, but it just saved it. And there is your Azalea test. And so you can potentially run the job by clicking this play button right here, and it'll do it for you. But that is the AutoCRAD function, and it creates documents based on the information that's collected there. We're going to delete this one just so it doesn't do anything funny for us later. And I'll show you an example of what a document might look like if you were pulling in data from the spreadsheet itself. So we're going to click out of this. And we'll pull an event that was actually approved. So it looks like this one was approved. So we'll scroll over here. And you'll want to scroll. Right here, this is the management tools up here for AutoCRAD. So if you click right here, click on it, it'll take you to that document that was created. And as you can see, the Spooky Festival, that was the title of it, and this was the event description, the learning category, and the budget that was pulled in all from the spreadsheet right there. And there's an automated email that gets sent to the coordinator just to make sure the coordinator gets this memo. So that is the Autocrat Formule and Eventomatic add-ons. In the next video, we'll go through some of the troubleshooting just to make sure your video goes off without a hitch. And I'll see you in the next one.